Mazda's in a tough spot. Due to the global pandemic, no automaker is really doing particularly stellar at the moment, but Mazda's back is against a wall with not very many places to go. The decision by Mazda executives to move the brand upscale prior to the crisis couldn't have happened at a worse time. The gorgeous Kodo designs of the Mazdas do truly look luxurious, and their Skyactiv technology is well known now and immensely respected throughout the auto industry. Sadly, Mazda has lost touch with its most successful branding as the Zoom brand. They seem to be pulling away from its sporty nature and focusing on a quieter, more luxurious experience. The problem is the average buyer expects Mazda to be, well, priced like a Mazda, not like a Volvo or an Acura. And the entry-level Mazda 3 is suffering the most in the lineup despite its recent redesign and its head-turning looks. It even has all-wheel drive, and that's not enough. And in today's video, I'm going to go over Mazda's struggling sales numbers and what they need to do to transition to the upscale dreams and plans that they have for the Japanese automaker. Welcome back to the channel, Luxurious Fleet. If you're new here, my name's Kirk. I cover Japanese autos. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any upcoming videos on Mazda or other vehicles from the land of the rising sun. All right, let's hop on over to the recent released sales numbers to get an idea of where Mazda is currently at. Starting with the month to date for Mazda in the month of May, we can see the CX-30 moving some serious units here. It's a new car, a lot of buzz around it, and it's a crossover. It's a super popular segment. And the CX-3 was okay, but the CX-30 is bigger, it's better in every single way over the CX-3. Mazda 3 still selling some decent units, but if you look at year-over-year change, 32% down compared to a year ago in May. Mazda 6 suffering as well. No surprise, the sedans are dying, but look at the MX-5 here. The good old Miata, which is one of my favorite vehicles of all time, is just straight slaying it right now. CX-5, their best seller by a landslide, didn't have that great a month, but the CX-9 moved some additional units, which is good to see. Over to the year to date, Mazda 3 down almost 50%. This is just mind-blowing. Now, there's a reason for it, and the big reason is because of the CX-30. The CX-30, if you add these two together, that's about 25,000 units, which is roughly what they sold of just the Mazda 3 last year. So you can say half of those Mazda 3 buyers just went to the CX-30, which makes total sense. But what's going on with the Mazda 6? It's not doing well either. And it's a damn shame because all these cars are really good cars, but no one's going to survive COVID, or at least the automakers. They're going to have a tough time. Everyone pretty much struggled during COVID, and these numbers reflect that. But there are some bright shining stars like the MX-5. It's such a niche car, like it's like immune to the coronavirus. It's insane. And then you have the CX-9 here, also year to date, crushing it. Absolutely up 6%. Incredible. And I love the CX-9. The looks look great. I pretty much love all the designs of the Mazdas, with the CX-30 falling a little bit flat in my opinion. But if you just look at total volume, they're down about 10% year-over-year change. So they got a lot of work to do, down 10% on the year. But how can Mazda make the comeback? So the CX-30, based off what we just looked at, has come at the perfect time to satiate the appetite for the small crossover buyers. Sadly, that seems to be at the expense of the excellent Mazda 3. Now, Mazda doesn't have any issue moving its crossover models, as we know, but it needs something drastic to bring attention to their excellent sedans and wagons, which we only get one wagon, the Mazda 3 wagon here overseas. You guys get the incredible Mazda 6 wagon. I'm so jealous. And if Mazda is going to successfully transition into a luxury or even a semi-luxury car maker, amongst the likes of like Acura or Volvo or Genesis, for example, they got a lot of work to do. The good news is that they are partially owned by the most profitable and best, well, in my opinion, best automaker in the world. Can anyone guess who that is? Anyone? Anyone? Yeah, of course, it's Toyota. Yes, Toyota owns 5% of Mazda, and their ownership is the largest amongst anyone that is not a Japanese bank. And with the help of Toyota and their experience with Lexus, Mazda can survive these premium brand growing pains. So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah. Mazda is rumored to be working on some huge undertakings to bring it into the performance luxury spotlight. These endeavors include the development of a flexible rear-wheel drive platform and the development of an inline-6 engine. And man, do we need a true Japanese successor to the 2JZ. And lastly, Mazda is beginning to electrify their lineup. The first rear-wheel drive Mazda, other than the MX-5 Miata, of course, is expected to be the next Mazda 6. The new Mazda 6 is set to debut by the end of 2023, and this rear-wheel drive platform is expected to permeate the entire Mazda lineup from its SUVs to its sedans. The rear-wheel drive platform alone can almost make Mazda a true luxury contender by itself. The next piece of the puzzle, an extremely capable inline-6 engine, and it's okay if we get a successor to the 2JZ from Mazda because it's being co-developed with Toyota anyways. And yeah, the Supra's inline-6 doesn't count. That's a BMW engine. So this inline-6 is rumored to make up to 350 horsepower mated with a 48-volt mild hybrid setup. Guys, and it gets even better. Since Toyota has its hands all over Mazda, which is much better than Ford, right? Toyota plans on implementing this platform and engine into future models of the Lexus brand, specifically the IS and the RC. Slap a turbo on this Skyactiv inline-6 that is already producing 350 horsepower, and we're talking 400 plus horsepower minimum with a single turbo or twin turbo setup. The Mazda speed would be back at that point, right? This is the exact engine not only Mazda needs, but Lexus needs as well in its performance coupes and sedans. Hell, put a force-induced version of this inline-6 in every possible Lexus. One even more gravy, this straight 6 is rumored to eventually be paired up with a fat battery pack as a plug-in hybrid. And if you can't tell, I get extremely fired up about future powertrains, but we need to move on. Mazda's designs have been pretty damn good lately. The 4th gen ND MX-5 is gorge. And the Mazda 3 is a true head turner, and the elongated hoods of the new CX-5 and CX-9 aren't too shabby either. The CX-30 looks pretty good despite the immense amount of plastics around the bottom of the doors and the wheels. But what do we expect for the next Mazda 6? I think we'll get a toned down production version of the Mazda Vision concept. The Mazda Vision Coupe concept was unveiled at the 2017 Tokyo Motor Show, and all I gotta say is I like it a lot. But it won't be quite as stunning, of course, because, you know, it's not a concept. But if they can sprinkle a little of that LC500 dust on there to make it as production similar as the concept, I'm all for that. And that design language is a good idea of where Mazda is going to be taking the brand. Heck, I even see some of that design cues in that Mazda 3. And I need to touch on 3 more topics real quick before I let you guys go. What about the RX-9? What about electrification? And what about Mazda's dealer network? The RX Vision concept came out in the 2015 Tokyo Motor Show, giving us hope for a new RX Mazda. This concept even had a rotary engine. If Mazda wants to move upscale, they need to have a flagship. The Lexus flagship consists of the LS and the LC. We're not going to talk about the LX. And the RX-9 obviously would be a rival of the LC if they do come out with a new RX. The rotary is likely gone and swapped with the turbo inline-6 that we've just spoken about. I also wouldn't put it past Toyota, Lexus, and Mazda to split the cost and have a clone as the next Lexus RC or LC. And it's pretty damn exciting times. No diggity, no doubt. And this just in, Mazda has made the RX-9 Vision available for download on Gran Turismo Sport as a GT3 race car. Gosh, it looks so sick. And if you guys have the game on PlayStation, make sure to check it out. And no, I am not sponsored by Gran Turismo. All right, electrification. Mazda just released the MX-30, which is very similar to the CX-30, except with, of course, electrified powertrain. The MX-30 only has a range of roughly 125 miles, that's 200 kilometers. and it's only for the European and Asian markets due to its limited range. But recent rumors suggest Mazda could stuff a small rotary engine inside of that to act as a range extender. And with that increased range, we could potentially see it here stateside. So Mazda is getting its feet wet with electrification, which is a good sign for the long term of the brand, especially when it comes to a premium luxury brand. And lastly, the dealer network. There's a huge chasm of expectation and customer service between a luxury brand and, let's say, a domestic brand. Mazda will have to spend millions or even billions of dollars changing the culture of Mazda dealerships to sell a more upscale brand. This is something Genesis still is struggling with, and in my opinion is the biggest reason they're not more successful than they already are. If Mazda wants to be a premium brand, the physical buildings of Mazda needs to be upgraded, their service needs to be upgraded, and its customer care needs to be in the same ballpark of Lexus, who is the gold standard, of course. And I can't wait to see what Mazda does for the next Mazda 6. Rear-wheel drive with a straight 6 sounds like Japanese heritage nirvana from the glory days of the 80s and 90s. Heck, even give it a liftback like the Audi A7 or this AE86. I know it didn't help the Stinger much, but man, it would be pretty sick. But when the Mazda 6 comes out in 2023, it's going to have some stiff competition, especially with the TLX and the recently announced TLX Type S variant. I mean, Genesis will of course have a new G80 by then. Infiniti probably won't have anything. I mean, they canceled the Q70 and the Q50 is a little too small, and Lexus has canceled the GS, leaving that segment wide open. Time will tell if Mazda is able to successfully upgrade its brand and image to a luxury or even a semi-luxury brand. But with incredibly attractive designs, premium rear-wheel drive / all-wheel drive powertrains, and a delicious longitudinally mounted inline 6, it sounds like they have a good recipe to be a legitimate luxury brand. So what do you guys think? Is Mazda in trouble? Should they have just hunkered down to fight for the crumbs left by Honda, Toyota, and Hyundai? I mean, maybe even Nissan too? Or are they on the right path with an upscale dream? I know I didn't touch on their infotainment or their interiors or their options or anything like that. I'll have you guys battle that out in the comments below and what they should do there. And if you enjoy my content and you would like to further support my channel, you can head over to my Patreon or my PayPal pages. And thank you guys just so much for watching, supporting me, and you guys just freaking rock. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and until next time, peace out.